Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Let's go!
We're done with our kitchen renovation.
Let's go! Let's go!
Keep going, we deserve it.
My little butterflies around you.
If you're watching this video, that means that we finished our biggest project to date, which is our kitchen. Every single step of our kitchen renovation has been documented. I'm gonna link the playlist down below if you wanna watch the episodes. We did them weekly. There was some weeks that we missed due to, the footage getting mysteriously deleted or other, life. But most of the stuff has been documented and it's gonna be in the playlist down below. Today, we're gonna be answering some juicy questions. I guess not juicy, but some questions that you guys have on our kitchen renovation. Elvis doesn't know the questions, so we're gonna...
So I'm the guinea pig.
But before we get started, give this video a like and leave some comments. We love reading your comments every time we post a video. Without further ado, let's get into it. Get comfortable. We're about to spill
This chair's pretty comfortable.
We're about to spill the tea. Okay, so...
Are we telling all our secrets or what? We're gonna tell them about the crew that done the whole kitchen for us?
We're not spilling all the secrets, but we're gonna give some...
Are we gonna tell them about all the people that were working behind the scenes for us?
Like that primitive channel?
Yeah. What the heck?
You gave me a good idea for a video.
Yeah. Characters. Oh, that's a good one. Thanks for the people that did submit the questions.
Yeah, thank you for submitting questions.
Thank you for that, because usually the people that are submitting them too are the people that are loyal followers, have watched the whole time. So we appreciate you for that.
Okay, what was the first meal?
I did that. I don't remember.
First question, what was the first meal made in your kitchen? Do you remember? You probably don't.
I only remember partially because I read your comment of responding to the first meal.
Oh, you're a bad boy. You peaked.
Something with rice.
You peaked. So I made a Puerto Rican staple, white rice, and...
No, someone said you have to do a video of your first meal, and you said, "Oh no, it wasn't that great. It wasn't anticlimactic. It was this."
It was amazing.
No, you
I just
said
didn't
that.
film it.
You said that.
Yeah. So I didn't film it, but it was white rice and pollo al ajillo, which is basically chicken in a garlic butter sauce with peppers and onions. It's so good. It's my fave. That's what I made.
Looks like there's.
And I didn't film it. I was like fully enjoying it. It was so nice to finally have a stove again, because we did the whole kitchen renovation without a stove top, like an electric stove top or anything like that. So it was really nice to get to use an actual stove and pans.
Oh, speaking on that, everybody thinks like, oh, you can't have home cooked meals. You got to go eat fast food all the time. 8 months without a kitchen, you had to be eating out all the time.
Well, I mean, we did have our share of eating out, though.
Compared to a normal person. No, she cooks, she's like infatuated with cooking meals. So with an Instant Pot, a microwave, an air fryer.
And the grill.
I mean,
microwave.
She cooked an insane amount of meals all the time, from eating and cooking out of our living room. So I'll tell you, it can be done. You get those tools, I'm telling you now, you can make 1 million meals.
You forgot to say I'm the best cook ever? Right here?
Huh?
I'm the best cook ever. You forgot that.
She is the best cook ever. No, honestly, I don't know. She always tells me oh, you're not a good judge because you say everything's good. That's
yeah, he likes
all
anything.
Of her meals are good.
No, he literally will eat anything, so.
Very rarely do I have something to critique, and then she gets offended when I do give any feedback. So it's I always have to be 10 out of 10. Because if I give her feedback, she gets combative.
So what's the first big family meal you're gonna make now? And it's kind of like the same thing, but I wanted to keep it in because I am excited to cook a full Thanksgiving turkey in the oven, because we haven't had a full-size oven in years.
Oh, that's
years.
Oh, you know what's crazy is our oven has the air fryer feature.
Mm-hmm. Make that skin all crispy.
Yeah, so you could do
I've been messing with the air fryer function. I'm not a big fan of it, but
it's a function that's available.
Yeah.
You should fully use your tools.
Well, obviously, I'll have to mess with it a little bit more.
Oh,
But
I could do the turkey and peanut oil, and then we could crisp the outside with the air fryer in the oven. Something to think about.
I'm just excited to make a Thanksgiving. I'm gonna get a big boy.
She's made some full meals though. Don't get me wrong. She's made some bangers out of this kitchen already.
Bangers.
She's been keeping them to herself.
Have you ever renovated any other house before? Dun 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 dun. Do you want to answer that?
That would be a solid no.
That would be a no.
I've literally done nothing in another house. Which crazy to me, like, cause I'm one of those people that does everything with my hands.
Yeah, we've owned 3 homes already, and we've rented a bunch of homes because he was in the military and we moved a lot. And we've never done any sort of home improvement projects in the home. And then somehow this house has been like full force.
So I did do one thing in our house like 8 years ago. I installed an outlet in the garage, but it was literally right next to the circuit breaker. It was an outlet for my air compressor, right? That's the only thing I've ever done. And I shocked myself, by the way. I was lucky.
I do remember that now.
Yeah, I went to Home Depot to get something, forgot that I turned the power back on. And I touched the ground wire and it freaking almost stopped my heart. But, so that's the only thing I've ever done. And I was clueless with that. I don't even know how I knew how to do it or if I researched, whatever. But that was the only, anything I've ever done. I fixed cars.
Yeah.
That's what I've done. I went to school for fixing cars. I did that for a living before I joined the military. So I have a lot of experience with fixing cars. So I fix every car that we own. That's my only experience.
I didn't know how to use a drill before moving into this house. And I think the most I've done is hang a few pictures wrong and paint a wall.
And so we had no experience with any of the tools to use any of this stuff. Literally, everything had to be YouTubed. Everything. Online. Not just YouTube. The other thing that was really good was like a lot of like Reddit forums. Like like that you'd find, you'd read because you have a lot of experts commenting like, oh, don't do this. I prefer this. No, that's stupid. Don't do that. And then some of the things I was like, you know what? This guy sounds like he really knows what he's talking about going this route. What
happened to the corner cabinet you painted? I thought you were going to use it in the dining room for china.
And yeah. That's part of our cluelessness.
So what had happened is
we bought a cabinet and didn't account for any of the measurements. We didn't think about none of that.
It fits good where I wanted it to fit. The only thing is, I hung up these beautiful curtains. I extended the rod further out on each side of the window to kind of give the illusion of a bigger window. And the curtains are so pretty and the curtain rod is so pretty. And I didn't think about the corner cabinet going there and hiding half of my curtains. It was just not the vibe.
No, and the other reality is this: between the edge of the window and the corner, there's not enough room anyway. So the cabinet overhangs the window slightly.
Yeah, the window has a ledge.
It's just too big for any of our corners. Just about that have windows, which is what's all of that's available.
Most of them
in this room that we renovated.
But we did repurpose it and put it in the playroom. It's still being used, just not in this room. So why did you decide to get that house, and how did you feel when you knew you had to rip walls down and all of that good stuff?
There was a few reasons why we ended up getting this house. The biggest one, which is probably what a lot of people have experienced, was the housing market was crazy. People were overpaying for houses. We did not really want to do that. Thought it was a bad idea. So we tried to go a different route, and we looked for houses that were not necessarily going to be touched on the market, that there were not going to be bidding wars on. And we found this 1970s home that was untouched. Had all original everything, old flooring in it. I was like, you know what? We'll go for this house. And that's kind of what created our idea. We decided quickly that, you know what, if we bought this house, it would be great because we could provide content, we could go down a DIY journey, and we could try to do everything ourselves and share with everyone.
Well, let's not forget the actual reason we got this house. It's sitting in the back.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so the garage. Okay, so the other thing, the big selling point too, which happened to be great as well, was it has a big barn garage basically with a loft up top. And I have
he likes to hoard things, so
I have tools. I wanted to be able to store all that stuff in there and be able to fix whatever I want to fix mechanically.
Yeah, we were moving from overseas. We couldn't physically view homes, and the market was so crazy. The moment that houses went on the market, they immediately went away and they got sold. So we're like, okay, we want a house. We don't want to compete. We don't want to overpay. So a fixer-upper was going to be the best route. Not just any fixer-upper. We made sure that it had good bones. bones.
Yeah.
So that's important. This house, even though it's never been really renovated, it has really great bones. With only one previous owner, they really took good care of it. So yeah, that's how we got it. Now, we knew we wanted to knock down this wall, so that's not surprising, but there was some surprising things along the way of like dealing with the whole situation of knocking down the wall. But I was surprised when we knocked down the wood paneling from the kitchen to find studs. I thought there was gonna be drywall behind it. So that was surprising, and that really shocked me. Like, wow, we're gonna have to go into like the whole drywall process, which we all know how we feel about that.
Yeah, the taking down the wall thing. So taking down this wall was completely our choice. It was not necessary.
It made such a difference.
We wanted to because it was going to open the room up, and boy, has it been. Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, that choosing to take those walls down was a necessity. We needed to do. That was the right thing to do as a homeowner, but we didn't want to do that. But she did not want to do it, but I knew we had to do it, and I'm glad we did because the mold was eye-opening. Most people that are looking to make money from houses are looking for super low price houses that really need a lot of work that you can get them for a really good price. The normal house buyer, they're not as quick, they don't have the resources and the ability to go get those houses quickly. We were in a perfect spot because this house was not super low priced, but it was like below market, so it gave us an opportunity to buy the house, live in it for a good price, while also being able to afford to do the things we wanted to do with it. So it was like literally in the perfect price range.
Yeah, we got lucky. It was pure luck, but we knew that was our only option because moving here, like, it was so competitive. The main important thing, like, paint goes a long way, right? And cosmetic changes, like very minor things, make such a big difference. But if the house does not have the good bones, a good like AC system, water heater, foundation, the things
plumbing,
that if they break today, it's going to be so expensive to fix. Those are the things you want to make sure that are in place before you go into a home that needs some work. That's my advice. And I know we're off the question, but that's like my 2 cents there. But anyways, let's move on. So what was the most difficult step in this project? Talk to me.
The drywall and the mudding. My goodness. Yeah. The drywall and the mudding, 100% hands down. Anybody that does mudding and drywall, you deserve all my respect. Yeah. It's one of the hardest things ever. And some people might be like, oh, it's not that hard. Well, if you have walls that are not even because the foundation shifted over time, it's an older home, right? So the drywall doesn't go flush perfectly and it's bent. You got to start mudding and stuff. Oh, and you have to be
it's one of those things, it's not forgiving. You have to be very good with it, like good with your hands, but also one of those things that if you mess up bad, it's gonna show because once the house starts shifting and all of that, like if you don't do the right process, you're gonna have so much trouble down the line. And it made such a mess. It was a constant mess. It was so labor intensive. The panels were so heavy. It was hard to put them up in the ceiling, lift them up on the wall to get them screwed on. It was just like
with the hoist that you rent.
Yeah, but we didn't have that long. So
but that helped.
My hardest thing was the filming. That was filming for me because I feel like if we weren't filming, things would have gone so much faster.
So easy.
Because I could have just like any time of the day come in here and worked really quickly, or like, you know what I'm saying? But when you have to film, you have to change the angles, you have to like edit the footage and put it together. I have to look presentable. I can't just be like in my PJs, you know, on camera and things like that. So I feel like filming and putting the footage together and all that, which was really rewarding to do and share the process. But I think that was the hardest for me, especially Elvis. He would like film for like hours on a time, and I would have to like look at all that footage and be like, wow, it's just staring at the wall. But it would take so long to import that footage in my computer. So just like balancing that.
And it's not even just that, right? You got to be honest. So she's not only is she helping with the process, she's doing the caulking.
Yeah, I'm actually like laboring.
She's here, she's engaged. She's taking care of, you know, doing the stuff with our son, helping with food. She's then also taking her time and going all the recording footage we've done. She's then taking the time to go back through all of it. So she's literally doubling her time.
In real time.
In real time. Like, I can't stress how significant that is. So the fact that she's able to get footage for everybody and do such a good job with sharing the process with you guys, it takes so much work.
I paid him to say that.
No. You paid me in your dinner and your efforts every day.
But yeah, that was the hardest part for me, for sure. It was difficult. But now that's off my chest. And I don't think I will ever do a real-time project to this extent again, because I like having that buffer time. Because I also, it stresses me out too when things like hiccups come up and it stops the project, and I have people asking me like, what's going on?
Yeah, no, honestly, going forward, probably our content is going to be pre-recorded and done. But it's just not possible to really do that and be effective for us in our living and sharing with you guys, which is why I place TLC and all these like do-it-yourself home TV shows and stuff are usually pre-recorded, and there's a reason for that. So.
I understand.
Especially as a one-woman team that does everything, all the editing, recording, voiceovers, all that.
Yeah.
Voiceovers is a whole nother thing. She does it all. She doesn't have the help, so we got to pre-record it.
All right, so what is your favorite thing about the kitchen? What's your favorite thing that we did? What are vibes?
The countertop. The island countertop for me is absolutely beautiful.
The craftsmanship, it's so beautiful.
Yeah,
he literally comes in here and he just pets it.
I love it.
He pets
it feels
the
so
countertop.
good. It feels. I've probably been doing the video.
So,
it feels so good.
You're probably like wearing down the varnish by touching.
I'll put another coat on it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody will appreciate what you did here, because when you look at it, it looks like you bought it this way. Knocking down the wall, I think that's the one thing that made the biggest difference. This kitchen was so small, closed off, like a little box. And when we moved in here, actually, there was doors in every entry point of the kitchen. So it literally got closed off to like the tiniest box. Taking down the wall made it so the window from the dining room that's so big just shines in here. And now I can cook, I can clean, and they can be eating at the table.
We can eat at the island.
Have conversation, and like my love language is quality time, so as long as we're all in the same room together, I'm all about it. That was my favorite thing about the kitchen.
Island countertop.
It is wild though, isn't it wild to like come in here and cook or get something from the fridge or put things away and we're like, we did that.
Yeah, it's
like,
crazy.
It's like the most rewarding feeling, even though it was so hard. It feels like, wow, like that came out of our hands.
Yeah, we did that.
Like
we did that.
We did that.
Crazy to think that people are gonna buy this house one day.
Right?
And be living in the thing that we did. And they're gonna appreciate it and enjoy it.
Hopefully.
And they're gonna be able to brag to other people about how nice their kitchen and stuff is. And we did it with our bare hands.
And our picture is on the wall in a time capsule.
That may never be discovered because our work will
chili recipe.
Our work is timeless, so these walls will probably never come down.
Price and how did you afford it? Now I'm gonna make a video on this. Cost breakdown of how much our kitchen costs. I'm also gonna give an estimate of how much it would have cost if we hired it out, all of that stuff. But just to give you the short answer, a price range, we're like around between 21 to 26,000 for the whole renovation. But keep in mind that that's also like decor that we bought, new kitchen stuff, and all of the millions of tools that Elvis bought to get the job done. But the tools are basically gonna be with us until you know what I'm saying? That's just like estimate. Let me know in the comments if that surprises you, if you thought we spent less or if you thought we would have spent more. And then how do we afford it? We actually, like Elvis mentioned, we bought the house for such a good price and we have a lot of equity on it, but that's not how we're paying for it.
But it was an option we had available because of what we did.
But
so
basically, really quickly, I'll also explain that in the video. We got a credit card that's 21 months interest free, and we're gonna pay it before the interest starts. So we've already made a pretty big dent. So that's how we basically have been able to afford it.
Credit. Using someone else's money. Don't use your money.
Well, I mean, you do have to use your money. But yeah.
No, I mean, you're using your money to pay it off, but up front, you're not fronting a bunch of cash for something. You're using someone else's money because your cash could be used for other things.
And that also too like helped us stay on a budget because you know the card has a limit and it kind of helped us centralize everything on all the purchases and stuff like that. So we knew, okay, there was coming a point that we were gonna be running out of funds and we're like, okay, we really gotta be picking and choosing, and it really helped us like not go over budget.
Forced us to stay within our constraints of where we wanted to be. So another good thing to think about. You didn't talk about the overall price of what it would typically cost. Probably $90,000 to $110,000.
Yeah, because we knocked down walls. We did mold removal. We did 3 kitchen leaks that needed to be fixed.
We did a substantial amount of plumbing.
Yeah, electrical. All of the things that cost so much money on top of the supplies. Like we needed all new cabinets, all new appliances, the flooring, the backsplash, the paint, the drywall supplies. Like all of that, if you were to hire it out, they charge you obviously the labor fee, they upcharge the material cost. And then they have to bring in specialists, like a structural engineer for this, an electrician for this, a plumber for this, which you get charged more because they're the ones like bringing those people in to do the stuff. So all of that would have cost so much money to
get it done properly.
We were able to,
because you can probably get people to like give you a $65,000, $70,000 and cut a lot of corners and not do things properly, whether permitting, structural engineers.
Permits too, we had to get permits.
Most people don't call in a structural engineer, contractors for load-bearing walls.
The most obvious question, how were we able to afford this beautiful kitchen? We did it ourselves. Yeah. Because labor alone. So we basically traded in our labor. We gave our time to be able to afford this kitchen, essentially.
And then on top of that, we're gonna have tools that can last forever. Or we could sell the tools if we wanted to, but I'm gonna use them in the future for a lot of different projects and
That's
future
why we
renovations.
need that barn garage, because he likes to hoard it.
That's not hoarded. Keeping tools.
All right. Any regrets about the kitchen project? Do you have any regrets?
So the regret I think I have, for me, the floor is phenomenal. No, it's really the way I laid this floor. If I was gonna use this floor again, I would lay it differently. And then if I didn't lay it differently and I was just gonna put something over top of this, I would buy more expensive flooring or thicker flooring. I don't know, it feels like there's almost like there's not support underneath of it.
I don't see that. Like you're so I don't feel that. And I stomp like a gorilla. Like I walk around
I feel it. For me, like to me, it bothers me. So I would have put down self-leveling compound, a little thin layer of that, and then I would have put down the underlayment and all that.
I don't have any regrets because
in the future,
all mistakes are lessons learned.
Well, I'm glad you. It's not a regret. Like it's not functioning. It doesn't work well. It's not beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's sound deadening.
I honestly, I think everything came out good. And I guess if there's anything that's gonna hit the fan, we're gonna find out later when we actually live in the kitchen longer.
I prefer a different feel. I want it to be hard and sturdy.
What is the one thing that you wish you hired out? 3, 2, 1. Drywall. Drywall is so bad. Honestly, every penny is worth it for that. Hire it out. They deserve the money.
The workers and laborers that do drywall and mudding, and it's not necessarily hanging drywall, right? Hanging drywalls, that's easy.
Yeah, like cutting it is really easy.
The people that are actually doing the mudding on jobs that are not true. The finishing work of
that
drywall.
level 5 finish.
Oh my gosh, it took a month. It took a month. It could have taken a professional a day or two probably. So pay for that.
Yeah, I would much rather have people come in here and do it in a few days and leave.
It looked like we were in. It looked like we were in combat with freaking dough.
It was so bad.
We were like baking cakes in here for a month.
Oh.
It's miserable.
And I was like, yeah. And they had to mix the joint compound, and you only have a certain amount of time to work with it, and the tools start getting crusty.
My goodness.
We had to change the air filter so many times. Like, come on, it's the worst. How did you deal with negative comments? We did have quite a few negative comments throughout the whole time that we shared.
She's got a lot of patience with negative comments.
I don't deal with negative comments.
Nah, I don't really care much about negative comments except for the ones that are personally attacking her. Like the ones that are kind of coming after her work, the effort she puts into sharing with you guys, that makes me so mad. The people that are commenting like nonsense, they're like, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that, blah, blah, blah. That's like I'm tougher than you, bro, I can do that. Like that's very small brain stuff. I don't care about that. But I personally have a problem when you're attacking the work she's putting in for sharing with you guys, or you're personally attacking her. I feel like I want to insert myself, but she does a good job of keeping me quiet and staying silent herself.
Honestly, the way I see it is like, no one in their right mind will tell you that in person. Like if they come to your house, they're not gonna be like, you did your drywall so horrible, you're gonna like ruin this economy, blah blah. Like, no one's gonna do that. Hurt people, and if they're negative, that only reflects on them. And I don't let people bring me down to that level. I want to spend my energy and time replying to the people that are encouraging, that are kind, supportive, have good like feedback that would help us out. There was so many people throughout this process that gave like feedback that really helped us out. There is things like we're able to accept if it's helpful, if it's gonna help us and we're doing something wrong, like we're gonna like see it and we're like, okay, shoot, like let's fix that. And it helps us grow and learn, because I feel like that's how every pro starts. They have to start somewhere and they have to learn and make mistakes. So
and yeah, honestly, some negative comments are good because they bring light to things that you didn't know. So I do notice some comments and I'm like, man, I didn't even know that. But like, dang, I wish you would have came from a better approach, because I didn't freaking know that.
And everybody's entitled to their opinion. It's good engagement. I just personally just don't even pay attention to it.
It is what it is ultimately.
And a lot of them are funny too. We get novels. Like, people are just like very
But that's good, that because they're so passionate, that means they're watching our content and they're passionate about what they're watching. So we appreciate that, honestly. We appreciate your passion. Just when you come at us with long comments, just be understanding and decent in there, and honestly, we would respond to your comments.
I feel good going to sleep at night knowing that I was not leaving nasty comments to people. So that makes me feel good.
You know, I forget the compassion aspect of it, and the fact that some people are negative like that because of the things in their lives, circumstances, the way they were raised or whatever, right? I forget that, right? It's not that they're still responsible for their actions and the way they act, but at the same time,
they're probably having a bad day.
We're products of our environment, so you know, I gotta work on being more compassionate.
Number one advice for anyone wanting to do the same thing.
I want to say don't do it. Right? If you're married, for the sake of your marriage, for the sake of your marriage and your sanity, don't do it, right? Because you got to really have a strong marriage. I would say don't do it. If you can get through it and you can be resilient enough to get to the end and complete it and stay honest and positive with your marriage and love each other and trust each other through the entire process. If you are married or you're in a relationship and you're living in the same house, it's going to be super rewarding, and it's going to make you stronger as a couple.
Honestly, if you can avoid living in the space that you're renovating, that's just, it is such a mental load when you're living in a renovation zone. Like, there's messes everywhere, things are out of place, you wake up and your work is just staring at you in the face. Like, everything, the list, the pile of things that you need to do are just right there. You can't really relax because it's like, well, I could be doing this to get things done faster. And just know that things are gonna take longer. Anything that's DIY related takes like 3 or 4 times longer. The time frames are always multiplied, and there's gonna be a lot of things that go wrong. And expect to make a lot of mistakes. Be gentle with yourselves and just know, like, you're doing something that the knowledge you're gonna gain from that, it's gonna be worth it in the end. So just like, learn.
You've got to have a substantial amount of personal time available.
Yeah.
Whether it's a part-time job that you're not working that much.
Because we were lucky enough to be able to work on it a lot. We had a lot of time to work on it, and it still took us 8 months.
Yeah.
Because we're completely new to this, and so many things went wrong. So I would just say that go in it with an open mind. Always have an extra layer of room in your budget that you think you're gonna spend, just to kind of give you some room to, like, for those mess ups. It's doable. It's hard. It's not easy. And that's what I wanted to show with this whole series of sharing it with you guys, that you know things are gonna go wrong. Like, it's not gonna be like a quick before and after, so inspiring, but what was in between, like what happened in between to get that from point A to point B, you know what I'm saying? So it's hard. Would you do another kitchen renovation?
Yes, with changes.
No, never.
I would do it with changes, with certain changes, yes.
I would not do that. I will stick to like the easier projects, not so like labor intensive, mentally draining.
If I don't have someone doing the caulking and the painting for me though, I'm not gonna lie.
I enjoy doing that.
I don't know if I'd be able to do it by myself.
See, we make a good team because like I'm like the painter, the cleaner,
the caulker. That sounds weird.
Just
the caulker.
I'm basically like pushing him to get it done faster.
Yeah, she drives
I'm
me.
the
Like, 'cause
hype man.
I get down in the dumps when I have to wake up every day to do this stuff.
So we made a good team with that. What was the question? Would I do it again? No, I will not do it again.
Not in the space you live in.
No, I'll have you do it. I'm not
So
doing
it's just gonna be me doing it next time. So when you guys see next time, she's just doing the recording and the editing.
No,
for you.
yeah, like honestly, like that's not for me.
And caulking and painting. 'Cause I'm not doing that.
But I am glad that I went through it. I tried it. I've learned so much. I've come a long way, right? I've come a long way.
Oh my goodness! Let me tell you, when she hung the hangers,
the curtain rod.
the curtain rod she hung, and then what'd you do like yesterday? I think it was
The locks.
the locks. I was like, dang, she was drilling a hole. She was making sure everything is balanced and proper. My goodness, I was like, yeah, I'm proud of you. So proud of you.
I've come a long way. I'm glad that I know that knowledge. I also know now what it takes to do something like this. So if I do have to hire things out, I'm knowledgeable what to look for, who to hire, all of that. So I'm glad that I did it, but I'm not gonna willingly do it again. Okay?
Yeah, she's not a process-oriented person. She is a get-it-done person. So
I'm a checklist person.
So if she were to do the renovation herself as a get-it-done person, a checklist person, woo,
listen.
there'd be some things that weren't mounted properly.
Listen. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad it's over. And that's it.
We would do it again.
You would do it again.
You're right.
Those are all of the questions that we're answering in the video today. If you have any questions that we did not answer that you're still curious about, leave them in the comments down below. I'll go in there and answer them for you. Stay tuned for that price breakdown video because I'm gonna like give you all of the details of how much everything cost and how much it would have cost. We're gonna wrap up the video right now. Thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe button. I don't know where it is, but
It's over here. I think it's over here.
hit the subscribe button, like, comment on this video because that's the only thing that really helps the YouTube algorithm push our videos out in front of more people. So we really, really thank you for that. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. It was nice to chit chat with you guys. And it's a nice change. We're not actually working on the kitchen because it's done. So that was nice.
The video is supposed to be 10 minutes, right?
No, it's gonna be probably like 30.
Ain't nobody gonna watch a 30-minute video.
A Q&A, yes, it's juicy. How do you do this? Rotate by arrow. Does it go out here or here?
Definitely here, Hillary. You rotate this, right? Anyway, which way does this say to rotate?
I feel like
If it hits us, it's gonna be a good video.
I feel like it comes out of here.
Point away from yourself and others. Wait, it says rotate this way. It's gotta come from this way. It can't come from up here, right? Maybe it does come from here. You know what? Whatever. We're gonna point it this way. It doesn't say
You point one up and I go down.
no. So if it blasts all over us, it'll be entertaining.
It doesn't seem right to do it like this because it's a bottle popping.
Are you supposed to rotate the bottom or rotate to the top?
Go
I don't understand.
Ready?
Let's go!